Welcome to our first eclipse of 2026 as we discuss the Aquarius Solar Eclipse happening on February 17th at 7:01 a.m. That's Eastern Time, so be sure and adjust for your location. This eclipse is blasting you into the future, ready or not, as it occurs at 28 degrees of Aquarius, 49 minutes. So nearly 29 degrees of Aquarius, the end of the sign, signaling a critical culminating degree point of mastery and advancement, which I'm interpreting as powerful incoming streams of new consciousness, future-oriented developments, and powerful awakenings that really take you far and accelerate you over the next 6 months into a new reality. Now, we haven't had an eclipse in Aquarius since 2018, and that's when the South Node was in Aquarius. But in this cycle, we are moving towards the North Node in Aquarius, which happens the end of July. And what this means is that whatever is coming into your life and your existence here in February is going to play out very strongly and have a part 2 the end of July into August. So there's going to be a few waves of impactful change occurring now in February that again will pick up late July into August, because that's when the North Node will officially move into Aquarius and move across this same Aquarius solar eclipse degree point. Okay, so that's important to note because this energy will extend into August, and over this span of time, life is changing beyond what we've known before. This is where an eclipse comes through that is fast-moving, electrifying, unpredictable, wild and zany, and advancing us to higher levels of collective consciousness and individual self-understanding. People are changing right now. People are awakening to new dreams, new visions, new areas of themselves that have been dormant that they want to live for. This is an activating eclipse that is showing you what you can do next in your life. And the universe is going to support you in making those drastic changes that can happen much faster than you would originally anticipate. This eclipse in Aquarius, the sign of the water bearer, it's not a water sign, it's fixed air. And it's the ability to look above the horizon, to lock in to a dream or vision that you are motivated to create an experience. It's vibrating strongly with your frequency, beckoning you forward. And this is where you're going to sense maybe even new levels of excitement around how your life is changing and how you want to live in a different way. Maybe be open to new things in your world, to integrate, to understand, to think about in a new light or a new way. This is the air sign energy of our communications, perceptions, what we think and discuss. But Aquarius is on mass levels. So it's mass levels of communication. It's social media. It's big collective systems. It's the energy grid. It is airline travel, aviation. It's engineering, technology, space, and various ways that we are advancing humanity into new lifestyles. All of this is activated here, and it's going to move quickly over the next number of months. Now, this particular eclipse is being triggered by Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus, now direct, making a square to the eclipse point. And Uranus is certainly a catalyst energy that breaks apart systems. So this means there can be more breakdowns, more things that we're understanding no longer fit in our physical world. We are advancing beyond them. We are recreating and regenerating new collective values that take us further on this planet and reveal what needs to collapse, what is no longer aligned or strong enough. So there's the heavy energy here of strong shakeups, chaos, a lot more crumbling rapidly. These are combustion points. These are things that just seem to be gone. This can also mean, unfortunately, some accidents with mass transportations, aviation, subways, trains. Not that we want to focus on that, we never do. But the square from Uranus means that there's disruptions that occur that affect many, many people. That's Aquarius. Big groups, big gatherings where many people go for a same experience. It's where there's things that are going to be shocking the masses. Now, as I record this, we're already in that energy. I'm recording this on February 5th. So we've already had world-shaking revelations that are new to some. This is not new information to many, but it's new to a lot of people. This is going to bring about that next level development of shocking news, changes, awareness. I mean, this is really pushing us into the future, and it's leaving behind the old systems that we've relied upon, those ones that we've just trusted that would always be there, the comfort zones of analog living. This is where there's going to be a lot more things happening that change our lifestyles, that change what we experience on the planet. This is also going to be accelerating our consciousness so that we're seeing more of what we need to see, that it's no longer hidden, cloaked, misconstrued, or misrepresented. There's a force with this energy. Uranus is forcing the world, the general population, to understand things in a new light and in a new way. And with the eclipse at 28 degrees of Aquarius, it's sextiling this Chiron at 23 degrees of Aries, now direct, and not returning to 23 degrees of Aries for 50 years. And so it invites us into a new understanding of our healing that has been unfolding since last year. But the new developments of the eclipse ask us to be strong in your capacity to remain self-aware, confident, and powerful in your healed version of self. Courage can be present here, although it might be softer courage with the sextile to the eclipse point. Mars is also in the sextile here to Chiron, and that's important since Chiron is in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. And so Mars holds the future-oriented actions that we're being guided to move towards as we understand that new dreams await. The new chapter is going to open up very quickly. And some people are going to feel this so powerfully as a timeline shift into a higher healed version of self. Because this Chiron is, again, sextiling these three planets in Aquarius. The rebirth is happening, and we're learning to trust and walk in the world without being pulled into the past or pulled into anything that you have outgrown that represents the old version of self or the old parts of you that no longer resonate. And this is what I think is interesting, is how these energies are very strongly focused on independence and individuality, with 3 planets here in Aries and then 4 planets in Aquarius. We're entering into this new timeline in higher consciousness with whole new levels of awareness around how we connect to the cosmos and how we are now embodying higher frequency energies physically. There's a strong physical shift here. And very notable is that at the same time of the eclipse, we have the significant conjunction between Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. They will be exactly conjunct 3 days after the eclipse on February 20th. It begins a new synodic cycle with these two outer planets, a new synodic cycle that's similar to a new moon, where they are exactly conjunct on the same page, and they begin a new journey with their shared energies. And it's more impactful because Neptune is involved, Neptune being an outer planet, and Neptune taking 165 years to move around the full zodiac wheel. This is where the Neptunian energies of spiritual leadership, empathy, self-compassion, new dreams, new creations, new life, a new life force is coming through that Saturn is grounding. Saturn is making it physical and concrete, since this is Saturn's domain. Saturn rules the 3D, Neptune rules the 5D. Here they are creating a bridge, a 4D bridge, if you will. They are on the same page, and there could be an understanding of what you're building from your own internal sacred fire of creation that's been swimming in your mind and something you've been playing with and understanding since last year when both planets were sampling these Aries energies. Now is a time when it's more concrete and real, when you could feel a stronger yes. Yes, I want this. Yes, I'm going to commit to this. Yes, I'm going to build this. Yes, I want to make this dream real. And that is one of the best ways to work with this conjunction at the very beginning of the zodiac wheel, which also means, especially with Neptune here, this is something brand new for you at a soul level. Your soul is creating a dream in the physical reality for the first time in your soul's journey on this planet. And so it doesn't matter if you feel like an old soul, new soul, or somewhere in between. This is a brand new, pure initiation of energies that are coming through to start something based on who you are now. And because you weren't born yesterday, at least that's not my demographic, because you weren't born yesterday, there's been a lot that has shaped and formed you up to this point in your sense of self. And so this is a restart, a reset of what you are embodying that beautifully aligns with your sense of self. And you're saying, yes, this is my dream now. This is the clean slate, the new beginning. This is what has my name on it. And this is where I'm feeling the energy deep in my core. This is the root chakra of Aries. And it's how you connect to your primal life force, ground it into the earth, and allow that to motivate you and move you forward to create experiences that help you understand who you are. So this beginning point here is not only strong because of Saturn-Neptune and this highly rare conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, but we have it coinciding with this cosmic solar eclipse at 28-29 degrees of Aquarius that is calling in the higher consciousness of who you came here to be and to bring that into your new reality. This could be a big dream or vision that you're feeling beautifully motivated to now live. And this is where we're going to see many people make some startling and unexpected life changes. I mean, these can be off the wall announcements, things you never saw coming, and yet they develop and they present themselves even rapidly with these energies because it's in alignment with your advancement in this lifetime. And in only 6 to 8 months, you might be surprised at how quickly your life changes with these 2 alignments alone. This is certainly the strongest eclipse of this year because it's happening in Aquarius, the late degrees of Aquarius, the critical degree here. And it coincides with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Life-changing developments are happening, and that's not just hyperbole. In fact, you might find that you start seeing things in your life in a whole new way, that you have some really big, eye-opening third eye chakra visuals, messages, images, as if they're coming from the future. And it's your own consciousness now merging in this timeline with your future self to bring it into your awareness so that that can be what you are experiencing. So I'm feeling this as a powerful merging of energies between who you were and who you are becoming, but something blasts through here. Strong, clear, evident. Maybe earth shaking. That could certainly be literal. The earth has been very active. It will continue to be so. And around the eclipse here, there promises to be some memorable earth-shaking developments. I mean, unfortunately, that's part of the destruction of this energy. There's physical destruction here, systemic destruction, old systems, old grids. Certainly there can be big issues on social media with platforms being down, more issues with internet systems, clouds, satellites, Bluetooth. All those connections could be very disruptive. This is erratic. It's erratic energy and it's reckless potentially. So we have to be responsible with the frequencies and currents moving through. I mean, think of this glyph here for Aquarius. Electrical currents coming through, coming in, and you could certainly be feeling it in your nervous system. In fact, with the strong Aries energy, you will have to stay tuned in to the physical body's messages, what you need to actively move through in order to move that energy, to not let it get overbearing. Now we do have Venus and Mercury in Pisces. Venus conjunct that North Node in Pisces, and Venus is exalted here, which means she really enjoys the Piscean ability to find the beauty, compassion, harmony, to detach from all of the stimuli in the world, to take a break and basically say, I'm not available. The do not disturb sign is up for a reason. This is where we can feel we need to retreat, to contemplate and review, to process what we're feeling. And we have this Mercury trining Jupiter, 15 degrees of Cancer retrograde. Jupiter will be hanging out at 15 degrees of Cancer for a number of weeks because of the upcoming station direct. And so this Jupiter is bringing your attention to what you're emotionally holding, what you're learning from your past, from your feelings, from your internal world, how you are growing wiser and becoming more emotionally intelligent as you listen to these internal messages and get to the heart of maybe something you've been pondering or feeling or moving through privately. Now, this energy is where we're meant to be learning and becoming wiser. And Mercury trining Jupiter means that you're going to intuitively understand something at a powerful level. There's big insights here around, aha, that's what that was about. That's how this formed or shaped me, or this is what I'm meant to understand and learn. Because the Pisces energy is the realm of moving up into spirit and returning back to human. So we have our human experiences that we seek to detach from. We go up into Pisces that says, get me out of here, get me away from this stuff. What am I supposed to understand? What's the soul wisdom here that I need to connect with? And then once you understand whatever those spiritual messages might be, then you're meant to bring it back into your human reality and allow it to walk with you going forward. So there could be some powerful breakthroughs here around past experiences and what their spiritual meaning was. The spiritual significance, or what you were meant to see and understand. Now, in the water signs, it can be harder to have words for all that. In fact, this is private energy where it's probably just meant for you. It doesn't have to be an Instagram post. It's meant to be something that you're understanding at a personal level. And that is one of the gifts, too, of the Aquarius solar eclipse, where we're able to let the past be the past. Let completions happen. Take what you need, learn from it, grow from it, evolve emotionally, become more emotionally mature from it, and spiritually aware. And then look at what you keep and what is removed, what gets filtered out. So there's a softening influence with the Pisces and Cancer energies, which can help with the strength and masculine energies of Aries and Aquarius, which is about doing, creating, making sure that you're thinking it through, planning, considering the big picture, and also connecting with the right people, which is Aquarius. Aquarius is typically groups, networks, friendships, allies, those you share a passion or interest with. It's sports teams, it's hobbies, it's where you go to meet other people who also want to enjoy or experience that same thing. Typically with Aquarius, these are the people we choose. We choose them. We choose our friends. We choose our allies. Maybe you don't always choose your teammates, but you're all choosing, to be a part of the soccer team or the baseball team or whatever. So this is where we're looking at, well, who do I choose to be in my experience? Who's on the same page, on the same frequency? And you might realize there's people who are not, they're not going to travel with you much longer because of how this eclipse brings to our attention the new changes we're making in our lives. So this is where you could have some breakups or breakdowns with individuals who don't have the same values, who just aren't on the same page with you. And that's okay, right? Everyone can go their own direction in peace. Everyone can follow their own path and be in alignment with who they are and who they came here to be. You might also find that there's new people who arrive, and you meet them through friends of friends or through social events, whatever it might be. But there's a sense here of who are the people who get you, who are in alignment with what you want and what you're about. And, the world is a much bigger place now with social media. And so we find more people all around the world much easier. And this means we can align with more of our soul tribe and truer connections than ever before, because you don't only have to look around your village or the next village over. Now you're more aware of all the people in the world. And that can also be its own thing, right? Its own distractions and misalignments and, false starts. But this could be a time to be intentional around the kinds of people you want to share the journey with. The kinds of people who bring more into your life, who are life-giving, who want to experience the world the same way that you do. And this is where you have those shared intentions and a shared forward path. So there can be, again, a lot going on with groups. This also brings in collective agendas, collective missions, humanitarian work, charities. Although I got to tell you, there's going to be financial shakeups in these groups. Revelations of where there's been mismanagement of money and funds, or where things aren't always above board. It hasn't been presented accurately to the board, to those who vote or have influence on the direction of the organization. There's going to be some, I'm going to say financial shocks here coming to light with the solar eclipse around Taurus values, investments, like what is really owned, possessions, rights such as copyrights, creative rights, digital rights. This is going to bring to light what hasn't been working, and that's also part of the shocking collapses here, again, over the next 6 months. This Uranus is going to really be heard, felt, and seen, as it only has a few more months in Taurus and re-enters Gemini April 26th. It's a big part of how the world's going to be changing over the next 6 months, the financial systems. Oh, I also want to mention that this eclipse is conjunct the USA's moon at 27 degrees of Aquarius. Every country has a natal chart like this, and the USA has the moon in Aquarius, and the moon is the people, families, the public. It is the general population. And it also connects to homes, real estate, what you do in your neighborhood, in your personal space. This energy of the eclipse is directly impacting the people and citizens of the US. I'm going to say there will be some interesting changes in the housing market, in personal ownership, and in some financial matters that will affect millions. So, that could be many things when we're discussing financial matters. But in Taurus, again, it's what you own. It's what you possess. It's your salary and the money you take in. And what has been inconsistent and not stable. There's a potential here for more of an economic roller coaster directly impacting the USA, which can mean some exciting highs and then some unexpected lows. I actually would think that with the square from Uranus, it would be a time of looking at what needs to be sold or offloaded. Uranus and Taurus rules minerals. So that includes metals, gold, silver, which has been on quite the ride recently. Also, the Bitcoin crash occurred as Uranus was stationing direct here. So this Uranus has been making a very big impression and has had a strong influence on economics. And there's something about this particular solar eclipse that will impact the people of the US even more personally. And I feel it's important to note that whatever crashes and collapses, it will be rebuilt in some new form. And it's part of the recreation energy of Aquarius, which takes multiple pieces and parts to create a system. And so new systems are going to be coming through and be quite influential here over the next 6 to 8 months. So we're going to have a lot more technology and electronics in our lives. I mean, we already know that. But there's something about the solar eclipse here that's really going to push some of those agendas forward, which I'm not advocating for. I'm simply reading the astrology chart. It's going to make more of these future-oriented devices, solutions, and systems more readily available and more readily used. So all in all, a very big solar eclipse that's changing our world, changing our lives, changing our values, taking us into a new reality and new experiences on the planet, shifting us into new connections with more potential friends, allies, groups. Also showing us that it is time to move on, ready or not, and how you embrace change is going to be a big factor at a personal level during the solar eclipse. A new day is here. A new day is dawning. We've all been feeling it, right? And anticipating. Maybe even something big is happening. Well, it would be important to note that maybe it's us, maybe the next bigger version of us, our consciousness, our intelligence, our energy systems are here, and we're meant to live from them. We're meant to embody them as we move into this new version of a human being on the planet who is more spiritually aware, energetically aware, who is more aware of how we are a part of the solar system. I didn't talk about any galactic beings, but that's also strong with the Aquarius influences. So yes, there's a lot happening here. And I have some other videos coming out soon where we will discuss more of these specifics, especially that Saturn-Neptune conjunction and more of what's unfolding here as we move further into 2026. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this offers you some good insights and understandings of what may be happening in your life. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you want to identify where you have 28 degrees of Aquarius and 49 minutes in your chart by house placement, because it's that house placement where you're experiencing these fast-moving developments. Also, the year of the fire horse begins with this solar eclipse. That's the new moon. And this is where that fire horse is going to come stampeding into your life by the house placement. So it's basically a point that has double importance because it happens to be a solar eclipse and the initiation of the fire horse. Strong, fast-moving developments here. That fire horse is a wild, untamed animal that's ready to be set free, to make moves with confidence and gusto. And it's certainly amplifying the changes here of the solar eclipse. So thank you again for joining me. I'd love to hear in the comments your intentions for the solar eclipse, what this is awakening in you, what this is inspiring you to do differently in your life, the changes maybe you've been preparing for since last year I'd love to hear more about what you are feeling that has your name on it, that's inspiring you, and anything else you'd like to share, because it could be exactly the right thing that someone else needs to read or connect with. So, as always, I appreciate you as a community here on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time, energy, and presence. And I hope it's a beautiful Aquarius solar eclipse of change in your world.